All right. Hello. Good morning. Um, yes, I played. Yeah, if you happen to watch the last stream, I played a bit more, and I got inspired. And I had another thought. I have a lot of thoughts about things. And the thought I had is like with this emerging flow of using agents to write code, the moment where we evaluate and review that contribution is by just looking at code changes. And this is bad. This is really bad because even though the code changes does like have a lot of intent in it, and you can see if it's correct and all of this, there's no way for you to understand why the agent came to that conclusion, to that specific conclusion. Like in simple cases, it doesn't matter that much, but as they're going to deal with more and more complex things, it matters a lot. And I was thinking about like when an agent works on a branch, there's just so much information that happens in that branch that's not part of the actual PR. And that made me think about PR. Like, what's a PR? A PR is an artifact of a branch. It isn't the branch. It isn't the work that was done on the branch. It's just an artifact of what work was done on a branch. So the way we do this is that we get these automated diffs, right? That shows the actual code changes, but we don't get any information about all the work we did on the branch. We're kind of encouraged to write that somehow in the body of a PR. And when a colleague creates a PR, you know about that colleague. You've been in meetings with that person. You've had discussions with that person. So you have a history with that person. You know, you trust the person. Like there's so many like abstract concepts that goes into that actual review. But you don't trust an agent. You don't know an agent. Like they're a new person for every PR they create. Like they are a blank slate. So it made me think about like how we can enhance PRs. So first of all, I played around with actually adding. So in this project we're doing, we have this. We're taking screenshots. We're using component stories, and we have an architecture that allows us to very easily take screenshots without the agent doing any navigation in the browser. It's just a story representing a state of the UI, and then it takes a screenshot. So here we moved the completed stuff up to the top bar, and we moved the input to the top. And then we can immediately like see how this looks like on desktop and also on mobile, which is pretty cool. But then I was like, what the fuck? If I click one of these, it downloads the fucking file. And it's like a PR is such a horrible legacy framework for reviewing what's being done. Because with agents, we want more artifacts. Like we want more things to allow us to evaluate. So I was thinking like, okay, the PR, just the fact that I can't really show screenshots here. Maybe think about like, okay, maybe there's a different way to do this. So I hooked up Netlify, and then I rather created like, okay, what if you could ship like more of a custom thing that encapsulates and creates just a way more interactive and nice way to review what the agent actually did, that allows you to bring in any artifacts like screenshots and stuff like that. And you can see what tasks the agent actually, also you drag information from the actual runtime or whatever you want to call it, from the agent. Like what tasks did it work on? What decisions did it make? What assumptions did it make? What considerations did it make? how did it validate its work, and all of this stuff. And I think this is really important. And then if you have all that information, you can really deep dive. So instead of just shipping the code, you could also ship the actual session of the agent. Because if you have the session, then you can really start to investigate how the agent performed. In the sense that, did it follow its instructions correctly? Did it stumble? Was there a lot of tool calls that errored? All of this stuff. And I think that's incredibly valuable. There's something about that idea. I just haven't found a way to properly build it. Because in one sense, I want it to be part of GitHub, like the repository, but you don't really have a good way to do that because it's so limited what you can do on GitHub. Like you have GitHub pages that you can use for static hosting, and it acts like normal static hosting, but that's bound to your main branch. So if you create a PR, you can't really do that. So then you need like a dedicated branch for these kinds of things. And then it just becomes like tricky, I guess. And then I was thinking like, what about the wiki of GitHub? Maybe you could use that for something, or and then you have something called releases that has assets on it, but that becomes like unwieldy. That becomes super tricky. So I think probably the best thing to do is to use GitHub Pages. I just don't like, because the way it would need to happen is that you currently have your branch, and then you want to upload stuff to another branch, which represents your GitHub Pages. Then you have to create like a work tree for that, and then it becomes technically very complex and weird. And then I had this other idea about, what if we just created like a service that hooks up a pre-push hook? And the only thing that pre-push hook does is just sync information to the service about agent sessions on that branch and any artifacts created and whatever it is. And then what if you could go to that service and start asking about these sessions? So instead of like generating a report, you would be able to actually chat, like use an agent to understand the agent work. It will kind of like be commenting on code, only that you would immediately get a response. Like, why did you choose to do it this way? And then it has the full agent session, so you can actually look at the agent session and understand why the agent chose to do it that way. But maybe that needs also the repository. So this would need to run like in a sandbox. For fuck's sake. It feels like, I just have this real itch that we need something like this. Like there's a new way to review agent work. But I don't know what it looks like or how it should feel like or even what should be in there. There's just something about it. And then it's really complex to make it work. Because the way it works now is that it's hooked into the PR. So when it creates a PR, it goes and creates this thing. But I've kind of instructed the agent to do this, and if anyone else was going to do this, they shouldn't need to change anything. Like they should rather just sync their branch with some service that allows them to like investigate the sessions and everything, I think. Yeah, I'm just not sure. I am just not sure. I'm not sure where to go from here. I just started a stream to talk about this stuff. I have no idea where I'm gonna go from here. Like I could continue like trying to build something here that will work for this app. And I was thought about, no, let's just use the PR for now and add the screenshots. But then like it looks like shit. I could change the sizes of these, of course, but then I can't click them to like see them. Maybe there's a way to manage that. Let's go. So when I add screenshots to a PR on GitHub, there's no way to like click the image to see a bigger version of it, I think. Or am I wrong about this? Most people use is to wrap the image into a link. Oh, interesting. Oh, so you can do it. Okay, but maybe we should try that then. And then I'm wondering, well, the thing that I really wanted to test was to be able to like investigate the agent session. Yeah, but maybe this like Netlify thing should just stay in the background for now. It is such an interesting idea though, and it's really cool that it needs like sandboxes. It's kind of a thing I know a thing or two about. But how would that work? So we'll have to build a service, and then the way I thought about this is that you install this pre-push hook in your repository, and then whenever you push to a branch, the pre-push hook looks for agent sessions on that branch, and then it compresses those agent sessions. It looks through all the tool calls. Did you read any local files that are not part of the diff of the branch? And then it brings in those artifacts. That could be like a screenshot or whatever. And then it encrypts that, just sends it over to the service. And then you can go to the service and you can like open a session on that branch in a sandbox. So it clones the repo. It has access to the actual stuff you passed, like the agent session and everything, and you can just ask it about stuff. At least I think that's the fundamental missing part, is that when we create a PR, we do not bring in the actual agent session. That's a really important piece to understand what was going on. It also holds all the instructions, right? What instructions were actually loaded? What skills did it load? Like all of that stuff, it's in the agent session. Thinking. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? So we have two paths. We can just continue on playing around with PR. We can fix the images. We can fix the images and yeah, I want to open a new tab cleanly. Yeah, because I want to set width as well. So, okay, so we can continue on the PR, make that better. So we show images correctly and kind of just continue iteratively on what we were doing, which is just, yeah, interesting. Or we can like completely pivot and try to build this service that syncs information about agent sessions in branches. But that's such an ambitious thing to do. And I also thought about, okay, it doesn't necessarily need to actually, what's it called? Be like an interactive thing. It could just be a report. And that can even run on your local computer. That's also the thing. Like it can be simplified so much by just being a thing you run on your computer. But the point is, if you're going to run it on your computer, like when do you run it? Yeah, maybe we could use the, I have this other project called Agent Review or something. Agent Review. Yeah. So this is the compressor. It basically is a CLI that allows you to list sessions and then distill a session into something that can be reviewed. We could use that. But then the question is, if you're going to do this, who's going to do the review? Who is going to do the review? It should all just be like one big ass artifact. I'm stuck in my own head. I'm not sure if I can move from here. I have to think more. Yeah. At least I'm not gonna do this. Okay, so this Netlify experiment was very useful, but I've deleted the files and I don't think we should do this. I think we should stick to our PR. But I want to make one change. Instead of, we need to instruct the agent so it doesn't use like markdown image references. we need to use an actual image tag that puts the image as a source. And then also we need to set a width for the image, which should be actually it should be relatively small, because when we use an image tag, we can make it clickable so that it opens in a new tab. That's kind of the point. Does this make sense? Okay, with these new instructions in place, let's update the PR for this branch so the images or the screenshots uses these new instructions. Yeah, it's very interesting. So I have this way of grabbing the session. So we can include this. So what's possible to do here? We have this script, which is upsert PR. And we have the possibility to include that agent review tool in there. And like distill the session, but I'm not sure what to do about it. That's the thing. Because that needs to be fed back into the agent. Wait, what? Didn't it do it? Oh, come on. PR updated? Are you sure? Oh, it is? Oh, interesting. What the hell? Why can't I? It still downloads the image. What? Doesn't it work? Oh, it's download. Maybe that changes the. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, we have an issue with this because these images, they are uploaded to a release, and it looks like you can't open those files. For some reason, it always downloads the files. It doesn't actually open the file. Here's an example of the URL. If you need them, you could host images elsewhere. Like this doesn't work, for fuck's sake. God damn it. Like if you can't even attach images to a PR, I think it says a lot about the limitations of a PR. Like we want to automate this stuff. We want to bring in new information to help us evaluate the agents, but we're stuck with this fucking code diff that doesn't tell us that much. There has to be a clever solution to this. I don't know what it is. I guess I have to think. It's almost like there needs to be something else than a PR. Like a PR is not how you want to review the work of an agent. There should be something else. It also includes the code diff, but it's something else. And the only way to make that happen is that you create a service. That does that. And that if you sign in with your GitHub account on that service, you can make it I'm gonna ask it. Has anyone ever explored creating a new concept of a PR? Or does really GitHub kind of own this concept? Because I'm reflecting on how to envision like a new type of PR related to agents, which doesn't have such a shitty limited experience of what you can put in there. Like one thing is code diff, that's fine, but I want to be able to bring in assets like images and things that the agent, even videos, like things that the agent has done to prove its work, so you can validate more than just a code diff, including also like the agent session itself, so it can be like evaluated and queried, so you can like ask why the agent chose certain things, and based on just looking at the session, you know a lot about these things. Yeah. Has anyone tried to build this? Yeah, I didn't mean own, literally own this, but yeah, whatever. No, you're not the first to think. And no, you're not the first to think, but it's still pretty unsolved, and the existing attempts are mostly bolted onto GitHub's PRs rather than rethinking. Yeah, I know. The protocol is open. Oh, is it actually Git itself? I thought it. Oh, and the review surface, it's just UI, GitLab's MRs, blah blah blah. What's actually being built in here? The closest existing cursors, but now running cloud VMs with browser access and video recording. That's interesting. Yeah, they're kind of linking to the environment that builds the PR. Terminal commands, browser action, but lives in on cognition, linked from the PR rather than embedded in it. Capture full runtime recordings of DOM mutations. Oh, agent general code introduces more redundancy and technical depth per change than human written code. The surface looks clean. For test failures. What's the minimum the reviewer needs to trust the change? Not how do we attach more? Yeah, I think it's just a fun technical challenge. First and foremost, I have no idea how much value it has. But there's something in my mind telling me that we need to understand how well the agent understood its instructions. Because the instructions is how we guide it. It's how we tell it how to approach problems and find context, relevant context, and all of this stuff. We can't expect it to just magically know that. Brutal Hill. If we're sketching and giving you think about that as a context. Yeah, it's also interesting, like how you can generalize it, in the sense that you don't create a specific service to test in the browser, for example. You just have a general service for getting the agent session and whatever artifacts it produced. Yeah, I don't know. This is a tough one. But I'm thinking maybe we should just, for what I'm doing now, let's just forget about the limitation of the repo size. We're just going to commit everything. We're going to commit the screenshots. We're going to commit the like we're just going to make it part of the repository, basically. Because then we can link to anything we want. And so instead of basically having plans, we're going to have like work or something. That each folder is a branch. And within that branch, we are going to insert any screenshots we've generated. We're going to insert any plans we generate. And we're going to insert the agent sessions. Like, we're just going to use the repository itself as a way to, yeah. And that's going to take up like way more space, but at the same time, you will always have the possibility to, yeah, I guess the problem is like over time, if you're just going to clone the repo, it's going to be like, yeah, a lot of changes. But again, you can easily argue that's part of it. Yeah, maybe we should do that instead. Let's see. Oh, thinking about this, it just feels artificial, or it just feels wrong to use the repository to store all this information. But why does it feel like that? Because if we do that, it's the best proof of concept for this. Because we have all the artifacts we need in one place. We can go in and we can ask about, hey, this session we had here, let's talk about what happened there. Or this branch we worked on. And I guess you could even use Copilot on the PR. You could ask it, go and read the thingamajig. And tell me, why did the agent choose to do this thing? Okay, this is definitely what we're gonna do. That's the best kind of proof of concept. Okay. How are we gonna approach this? Okay, let us just commit whatever we still have here and then push it. I'm gonna merge the PR and then we're gonna start a new session because I have an idea. You know what I always feel bad about is when I tell it that I have an idea and we're going to start a new session, and then it says looking forward to the idea. When I start a new session, it's a new session, and it's not the same. It's not the same agent anymore. It feels like, yeah, it just feels bad. Okay, so I want to organize things a little bit differently. Currently, we have this plans folder. But what I want to do is I want to have a folder called work, maybe something like that. And inside that folder, we're gonna list branches. Every branch we work on is gonna have its own folder, and we should prefix that branch name or the folder name with a timestamp, so we can more easily see sort the folders. The point is that within that folder, that's where we're going to put the plan, that's where we're going to put the screenshots, and we're also going to use a tool to compress the agent session and actually bring that in there as well. But we can get back to that. First of all, let's just review everything here and plan how we can use this new folder structure and how we can ensure that the plans and the screenshots are actually put into the respective branch folder. I just have to close the window. Oh my god, I had such a nightmare last night. I rarely have nightmares, but it was really bad. I think I saw someone got eaten by a tiger or something. It was just, yeah, I don't know. Such a weird dream. Super weird. Oops. Hey, what happened? Okay, I'm kind of pumped about this. I think we found what do we do with the existing yeah, and we yes, and we should also change list recent plans to list recent work, and then update instructions to make the agent understand that we're listing a folder, right, where there might be a plan in there. And we should and the plan that's written to the to the branch should be uppercase plan. And then what about existing plans? We can just delete them. That's fine. But I want you to kind of start using this flow now. So as you kind of plan this out, it would be great if you can actually create a work folder, create a branch and everything, and kind of start using this immediately, even though it's not actually part of the instructions yet. But I guess you know where we're going with this. Let's go for it. Yeah, I'm really curious if it's able to show the screenshots. It should be able to, yeah. Need to properly review this, I think, but yeah. But I really want to test, before we jump off this thing, I really want to test adding the actual compressed session. And then we're going to try to use Copilot to ask about the session. Oh, yeah. I think it's a bit broken now, the instructions, so it doesn't actually update the plan file, but that's fine. Oh, yeah, now it checks them off. Yeah, and I wonder if we can rather now, in the PR description, we can rather point to the work folder. So I would assume Copilot actually has the PR description in context. So if we just add, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I want us to make one adjustment to the PR workflow, and that is to include information about the work folder in the PR description. Because my idea here is that Copilot on GitHub probably has the PR description in context. So you can actually start just asking Copilot about the work session. So so yeah, maybe for now it's enough to just point to that folder and describe that it holds information about the work. Yeah. Now the thing I'm wondering is how we're gonna find the session for the agent. Yeah, as a pointer to the plan and can be asked questions about the session. Okay, I think we're gonna just test this theory first. Okay, cool. Let's try to create a PR from this. Yeah, because the other tool is like it's listing sessions, and the thing is like you might have multiple sessions on a branch. So yeah, maybe we could rather add to that other tool so that you can like list branch sessions on a branch. That would be really interesting. Maybe I could add that. Yeah, maybe we should just try this Copilot thing first, and that's fine for now. And then I'm going to change the other project so that you can actually list sessions per branch. And then what we're going to do is embed that into our PR script so that when we create a PR, we're actually going to run that other tool, get all the sessions for the branch we're on, distill them, and include them in and include them. Let's see what it did here. I really like ASCII. It's such an underrated way to display changes, and it works for UIs and folder structures and even code like Surface API. Like it works for everything. Like not ASCII, but like blocks. Okay, let's try Copilot. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Could you tell me about the report on the plan for this PR? Let's see what it does. So the point is that we can use Copilot to like review the agent work. And maybe just adding Copilot to do a review is a way to actually, like, it should just do a review of the session as well. That's the interesting part. Because this includes the plan. Yeah. Okay, this is interesting. Oops. I didn't think of that you could actually use Copilot review for, yeah. But it makes sense. Like, you have the agent session in there, so it will also review the agent session. Incredibly slow though. Yeah. It does. It found it. Nice. I think we have something. It's a nice path. It's low threshold, easy to play with. And since we put the screenshots in there, they should also display nicely. Yeah, I like this. Okay, let's merge this, and I'm gonna play around with the other tool, and then we're gonna do another stream and see where this takes us. Cool. Bye for now.